Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the NFC East is always one of the most competitive divisions in the league. You have the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and of course, our very own Washington Commanders. But right now, there's something brewing that could seriously shake up the balance of power in that division. Rumors have been swirling, and today we're going to dive deep into what could be one of the most significant moves this season, possibly involving Washington pulling off a blockbuster trade that could change their offensive outlook for years to come. And it all centers around one of the most explosive wide receivers in the league right now, Jaylen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins. So let's set the scene. The Miami Dolphins, currently sitting at 1-5, are struggling a bit more than expected this season. Their defense, which was supposed to be a strength, ranks 29th, allowing an average of 28. 2 points per game. That's not what they envisioned when they built this team. And it's not just the defense. The offense, led by Tua Tagovailoa, has faced its own hurdles, especially with Tua missing 4 games due to concussion issues. Now Miami is facing a tough reality. They need to rebuild, especially on the offensive line, which has been leaking sacks at a rate of about 3.2 per game, and they're running out of cap space to make the necessary upgrades. But here's where the intriguing part comes in. According to reports from Diana Rossini and other NFL insiders, Miami might be open to making a splash move before the NFL trade deadline on November 4th, and the player at the center of this potential deal. Jaylen Waddle. Now Waddle, drafted 6th overall in 2021, has been nothing short of spectacular when healthy. Remember his explosive rookie season? Over 10 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns, and since then he's continued to impress with a career total of over 500 yards and 30 touchdowns. His yards per reception stand at an impressive 14. And he's known for his incredible acceleration, running a 4.37 40-yard dash, which is Tyreek Hill territory. That kind of speed is what makes him one of the most dangerous deep threats in the league today. And speaking of his recent performances, Waddle's 2025 season already shows promise. 45 receptions for 642 yards and 5 touchdowns in just a handful of games. He's averaging over 91 yards per game, and his metrics like EPA per target, 0.29, and YAC, 328 yards, position him among the top wide receivers in the league. His return from injury has been solid, with an 89.5 grade from PFF in their game against the Patriots, after missing a game due to a sprained ankle in Week 4. If Miami decides to move him, they might be looking at a package that includes a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027, valuable assets, especially for a team looking to rebuild quickly. But why would Miami consider trading Waddle? Well, the reasons are multi-layered. First, they're trying to free up cap space to extend Tyreek Hill's contract. Hill is currently one of the top receivers in the league, and Miami wants to ensure they can keep him happy and paid. Second, their offensive line is not doing them any favors, giving up sacks at a high rate, which puts Tua at risk. They're also cautious about their run defense, which has been leaky at times, and that affects their overall team balance. Coach Mike McDaniel is known for his innovative offense, but even he recognizes that adding young, explosive talent like Waddle could be a game changer, especially if they're planning a rebuild or at least a retooling for the future. Now, let's pivot to the Washington Commanders, because this is where things get really interesting. Upside-wise, adding a player like Waddle could be a massive boost for Washington's offense. They're currently sitting at a 3-4 record, and their passing game ranks around 20th in the league, averaging about 212 yards per game. That's not ideal, but it's also not insurmountable. What could Waddle bring to the table? Well, for starters, he would give the Commanders a true vertical threat alongside Terry McLaurin. McLaurin, who's already amassed 682 yards and 6 touchdowns this season, would have a dynamic new weapon to stretch defenses and create mismatches. Waddle's elite speed and ability to make plays downfield could elevate the entire passing attack. creating more opportunities for quarterback Sam Howell to find open receivers and keep defenses honest. Plus, Waddle's presence would help the Commanders generate more yards after the catch, which is already one of their strengths. His ability to create mismatches in the slot and outside would open up more options for play calling. The team's models, like the POO-LP projections, suggest that with Waddle, Washington's win probability could increase by about 12%. That's a significant jump when you consider the tight margins in the NFL. And let's not forget, in a division where the Eagles are leading comfortably, but the Giants and Cowboys are just a play away from turning things around. Acquiring a top-tier weapon like Waddle could be the difference-maker in playoff positioning and division rivalry matchups. The trade odds are also interesting. According to some betting markets, the likelihood of Waddle moving from Miami to Washington has shifted from around +10, 0 to +4, 0, which indicates growing confidence that a deal could actually happen. And that's not just about the immediate impact. Waddle's trajectory suggests he could be a big play X-factor in the playoffs, especially considering that he's capable of making 20-plus yard receptions at a rate similar to Diggs in 2023, at around 24%. That kind of explosive playmaking ability could be exactly what the Commanders need to push into serious postseason contention. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. If Washington manages to pull off this trade, it would be a clear statement of their intent to contend. Waddle's addition could accelerate the team's offensive turnaround, providing a spark that's been missing at times this season. The team has shown flashes of promise, especially with their defense holding up in many games, but their offense has lacked that big play element. This move could help them unlock that potential, giving Howell a reliable deep threat and a weapon who can turn short passes into big gains with his speed and yards after catch. And if we look at the broader context, the NFC East as a whole is in flux. The Eagles continue to dominate, but the Cowboys and Giants are still very much in the mix, capable of making a push. Washington's chances to rise in the standings hinge on strategic moves like this. A Waddle trade would send a message to the division, and the league that the Commanders are serious about competing now, not just rebuilding. Finally, I want to emphasize the importance of timing here. The NFL trade deadline is right around the corner, November 4th, and teams are scrambling to finalize their plans. Miami, with their cap constraints and the need to rebuild, might see Waddle as a valuable asset they can use to acquire draft capital and fix their roster holes. Washington, on the other hand, is looking for that game-changing piece, that X-factor that can make all the difference in close games and playoff battles. So what does this all mean for you, the fans? Well, it's an exciting time. We're on the edge of potentially witnessing a major shakeup in the NFC East, and the Washington Commanders could be at the center of it. Waddle's speed, explosiveness, and ability to stretch defenses make him a perfect fit for the team's offensive ambitions. If this trade happens, it could be a pivotal moment for the franchise, one that propels them into serious playoff contention and maybe even beyond. And as fans, we should be keeping a close eye on how this develops, because this could be one of those moves that define the season. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential deal? Do you think Waddle is the missing piece for a deep playoff run? Or do you believe the team should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the future of the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and latest news about the Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's continue to support our team through every twist and turn of this exciting NFL season. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's grow this community together. Until next time, go Commanders.